I wasn't going to uni to like make friends.
Yeah, in the industry that we're in, and there are a lot of fake friendships.
Yeah, she was so negative about everything I did. She would always put me down.
Share your honest opinion, but if they're not prepared to make any changes in order to respect that, then you need to keep it moving.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome back. So I have Amina here. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means?
Do you know what that
We are going to be talking about some topics that you guys have requested as well. If you haven't seen the first part of this, then head over to AMINA'S channel, and obviously I have part 2 on my channel. I'll just put it up here somewhere in the card so you guys can check it out. Today we're going to be talking about friendships and how we've dealt with them, how we deal with them.
Friendships.
Yeah, see, we grown.
Okay.
So I think we've learned quite a bit about ourselves and about how to deal with friends.
I don't know where to kind of, was it just
dive
in? So friendships, I feel like friendships are really, really important because other than romantic relationships, friendships are one of those relationships that really teach you about yourself and really help you to grow as a person, know how to relate to people and what your issues are. It can be very challenging. It's not easy to have close, meaningful friendships. You do get hurt along the way as well. At the same time, you do get to learn how to be open and vulnerable with people, but then it's just a case of learning who not to be vulnerable with in that process. I personally, I've always had like a large group of friends. Like I have a lot of friends and there's a lot of people that I know. But I never kind of had people close to me because I've always kind of had trust issues and I don't like being vulnerable with people. So it takes me a while for me to be open and let people in. Constantly always have like this wall. I don't let everybody in past that wall. I've always been very kind of cautious and careful when it comes to friends, and despite the fact that I have a lot of friends, you know, not all of those friends know everything about me, or do I don't share my personal business. I'm not very open emotionally. It's not until my adult life in the last few years that I've kind of had friends that I've been more open with and allowed myself to have close friendships. You know, I have been hurt by, you know, those friends. I've also learned a lot from those relationships, you know, because I know that I have to be able to be vulnerable. I've learned that, you know, being vulnerable is not a bad thing, and it is a risk because I'm always kind of trying to protect myself. It's kind of a protection thing. I don't want to get hurt, so in order to not get hurt, I can't let anyone in. But then, you know, you get to a point where you do meet people that you want to let them in because you do care about them and you want to have that close relationship, and it's kind of allowing yourself to learn from those relationships. Yes, you may get hurt, but it's part of life, and it's part of growing, and it's healthy, it's needed, because then you won't know how to deal with those situations in the future and in romantic relationships. You know, before you even start thinking about romantic relationships and getting into a serious relationship with a guy, there's so much that you learn from your friendship relationships that you can take into a romantic relationship.
I know a lot of people, but I haven't had close relationships with many people, and I don't really think you should. I don't know, like, how are you gonna juggle having a million friends that you're close to? I've only ever really had 5 close friends at a go. So when I was much younger, like in school, secondary school, primary school, I had like 2, maybe even 1. But what are friends in primary school? It's just you see each other in school and that's it. Secondary school, I had 2. I had like 2 close friends. One of them ended up becoming my son's auntie. Oh,
so her
brother.
Okay,
so
cool.
I so happened to get with her brother, and then that kind of changed the dynamics of our relationship a little bit, and we're no longer close friends. Now, in like my more adult life, a lot of the friends that I have now, they're not like day one, so it's not like a secondary school friend, which is like high school for people in America. It's not like a primary school friend, but
So do you not see any of your friends from primary school and secondary school now?
No. No, I don't. I didn't even make friends at uni, because I was just so comfortable with my cluster of friends as it was. As it was. Like, I lived in London my whole life. I went to uni in London. I went to uni at a much older age than you're supposed to go to uni. I went to uni when I was like 22, 23, and at that point I've made all my friends. I've lost, bought the t-shirt, you know. I wasn't going to uni to like make friends.
Going there to do
I was going to do my work and go back home, literally just go uni, come home. I had friends in uni, I wasn't alone but that wasn't like,
you weren't like hanging out and talking over the weekend,
barely, you know. Now I realise that a lot of them are kind of toxic. If you have a friend and you don't understand each other and you don't make the effort to understand each other, then it's a pointless friendship, you know, because just as you're going to be in a relationship with somebody, you know, a guy-girl relationship, you need to have understanding. You know, you need to respect one another, because with understanding comes respect. And if you don't respect one another and you don't understand one another, then you're kind of fake friends. You know. And the friends I have now are like they're like my sisters. Right. You know, I have one really close friend who's a guy who's Olu. And I have David, who I count David as like a sister to me, you know. He's the first person I'll pick up the phone to call if something's gone wrong or if I need cheering up. As much as people like want to be your friend now, especially like because I do like YouTube and I'm on social media, I'm very careful. It's like, let's hang, you know, let's chill, whatever, but you're not going to become like, I don't mean to be rude, but you don't expect,
you ain't my friend.
You don't expect to become like my best pal by tomorrow. It's just unrealistic. You know, it's taken time to get to where I am with my friends.
And I feel like even in the industry that we're in and in what we do, there are a lot of fake friendships. They're kind of social media friendships. Where people are friends because, you know, it's kind of a business friend.
And you know, I've never been that kind of person. I've always been the type to I'm always up for making friends, you know. I'm not saying we're going to be best buds and you're gonna be my bridesmaids and shit. There are a lot of like people who just want to be your friend because they want to get their followers up, latch onto you. They don't care if you have a stinking personality. They just want to be seen with you. I remember I had a friend back in the day where she was so negative about everything I did. She would always put me down, like always. And it was only like a few years ago that I realised, I was like, oh my God, she was always putting me down, like all the time. I went to do my nails and I just chose a certain colour. And I came out of the nail shop and I was like, oh look, don't you like the colour? She was like, no, it's disgusting. She was like, no, it's disgusting. I was, in my mind, I just thought, why are you so negative? You know, and I remember she would always say things about like what I would wear. And you know, if I'm like, oh, should I wear this skirt? She's like, no, I don't think it'll look really nice on you. Like, I think maybe you should wear like, I don't know, like that skirt. And then I just that she would never really give a good reason. She'd never really be.
I mean, it's one thing to be honest with your friend, and then it's another thing to just constantly always be negative all the time.
Always trying to put somebody down. And I told her, because my sister the other day, she asked, she was like, oh, how is so and so? And I was like, I don't really speak to her anymore. She was like, oh, that's a shame. And then I said to my sister, do you know what I realised? I realised that she was always putting me down. She was always being negative. And then my sister said, okay, why do you think that is? I was like, I really have no idea. She was like, do you think she's jealous of you? And I was like, well, I would never imagine that I'd have a friend who's envious.
I don't know if it's naivety or just, I don't know, just not expecting that of someone. But I'm the kind of person that I would never expect my friend to be jealous of me or my friend to think anything bad of me in that sense. But I know that this does happen. It happens. And especially in this day and age where, I don't know, I was speaking to someone and they were like, they wouldn't call it being jealous, they would call it being hungry. So if you have two friends that, you know, are very hungry in terms of their career and what they want to do, they may clash, not because they're jealous, but because they're so hungry about themselves and what they want to do that they kind of cross the boundaries in terms of remaining a good friend, and that goes out the window because of their hunger to just do whatever it is that they want. They want to achieve the same way you've achieved. They want to be.
But even then, I wasn't doing anything with my life. Like that's definitely a very, very good point, and I will take that on board going forward. Then it was so bad, you know, even like hair and stuff. I mean, I want to do this hairstyle. She's like, no, it won't suit you. I'm saying it with this tone because now that I've been able to take time to analyze the situations and like the different scenarios, that's obviously how she would have wanted to say it, but she would have been like, no, I don't think it will suit you. No, it's not really nice. She wouldn't even say, oh, try this. You know, it's just, no. I will never forget the day with the nail polish. It was just so abrupt. I was like, oh. And I was like, you don't have to be so mean about it. I actually said it to her, you know. She was like, no, I'm not, I just don't like it. And I was like, okay, you don't, but guess what? I do. Soon after that situation with the whole nail polish, we stopped talking. I refused to kind of continue having a friend who was so negative. And I'd never say it to somebody and be like, oh, she was jealous of me. But I'd always say, she was just always being negative towards me. You know, she never had anything nice to say. If I were to call one of my friends, for example, what do you think of this? It's alright, it's not really my thing, but if you like it. That's how you would, I get everybody's different. Everybody would approach a situation differently. But not, no, it's ugly, I don't like it.
And you never know, it could be that person, that she's got her own issues that she needs to deal with. Because if she's going to be like that, going into an actual romantic relationship, I don't think, you know, that her other half is going to appreciate this negativity all the time. That no one's going to want to have a good relationship with her anyway, because it's just always negative. So she herself has things that she needs to do as to why she's always like that in that sense. But at the same time, for you, in terms of protecting yourself and protecting your sanity, your emotions, you don't need that kind of energy in your life at all.
Every single one of my friends that I can count on one hand, because they say when you get to a certain age, you can count all your friends on one hand. But if you're not prepared to hear the truth, you're probably not the best person to have as a friend.
It has to work both ways.
It has to work both ways.
You both have to be able to be honest with each other and receive that honesty, but it's also the way that you do it as well. Because obviously you care about that person, you don't want to hurt them in that sense.
Because it all comes from understanding and respecting each other.
Yeah.
Once that's already there, then you know, okay, she's telling me this because she loves me. She wants the best for me, and obviously she doesn't want to see me make mistakes. But you know, if you're like, oh, she's always doing this, she's always doing that, and she's always talking to me like I'm a child, blah blah blah, like she's go and fix your own life before you try and fix mine. She's not doing it to be mean. She's doing it because obviously she genuinely cares. And you know, I had that issue with a friend recently as well. But don't seek advice, and then at the end of the day, it's like you want to be shady about your decisions, you know. And I had that issue with a friend. I was just like, okay, like you seek my advice all the time, but when you've made your decision, you know, I'm not. You don't want to inform somebody. You know, it's only when you're going through the hard time and you really want someone to talk to that you come running. But then when it's like, okay, you've made the decision and you know the storm has calmed, that's when you vanish.
I think my friends know more about me than my siblings. You know. So that's why it is important to have, because a lot, you know, families are always, you know, you can't choose your family, they're just your family. Sometimes you're close to your families, and it's great to have a sister or a sibling that, you know, you can talk to and it's always there for you and stuff like that. That's fantastic. But a lot of people didn't grow up having that, so they end up building that kind of relationship with their friends. I've been single for like 10 years, so I'm learning so much through friendships that the time that I've been single, I've not been in a relationship, like it's kind of made up for in the friendship relationships that I've had, in terms of learning more about myself, and only just now allowing myself to be vulnerable, allowing myself to let people in and let people be close. I recently had, you know, sad situation with one of my close friends. Like, she was probably one of the only people that I would ever say that I've let in. I still have friends from like primary school, secondary school that I see every now and then and I speak to, but she was probably the only friend I kind of had where we were like sisters and everything. We didn't speak for like nearly 2 years. It was really hurtful for me because it kind of reminded me of when I broke up with my daughter's dad, and he was the only other relationship that I could say that I had a close deep relationship with that person. So it felt like a breakup with a boyfriend in that sense, and I found that really difficult.
You try and reach out.
I mean, we only recently kind of had the conversation where we kind of, you know, came to an understanding as to why things happened the way they happened. My whole thing is that, okay, it happened, I've learned from it, it is what it is, keep it moving, you know, it's life. And I've only learned that this is life, this is what happened, and that was my first experience of having a proper falling out with a close friend. So for me, I was only just learning how to deal with it because I've never experienced it before, and I'm 31 and this is my first time having an experience where you have a really bad situation with a really close friend. But I've learned from it, you know, and going forward I know, you know, how to be a better friend to somebody else, and he's been able to reflect on, okay, where did I go wrong? What could I done differently?
Because we're always so hell bent on how
what they done to us.
Yeah, like
you did this to me, you hurt me, you done that.
Don't forget that you also may have done something. Even if you are clean, but subconsciously you may have said or done something to make that person feel a certain way.
Yeah.
You know, and it's only...
And he's reflecting on that as well.
How do you deal with, I don't want to say fake friends, but how do you deal with people that you just know are false?
You can't waste your time and energy on friendships that are going nowhere. And you know within yourself that that person isn't your friend. And it's not a thing of where you have to be making enemies or keeping malice or keeping grudges in that sense, but it's just knowing how to kind of slowly drift away and just remove yourself from that circle, remove yourself from that person, and just distance yourself a little bit. It's not a case of, you know, okay, you have to just drop everybody, like, you know, and forget the good that that person has done for you. It's just knowing that these are my friends, these are the people that I want to hold close to me, and everyone else is secondary. So, and just acting in a way where you know that, okay, we're still cool, but you're over here and I'm over here, you know, and there's no animosity, there's no resentment, there's no beef in that sense. But, you know, we're growing up, no point in entertaining friendships that are not healthy, friendships that are not positive, friendships that are just, you know, you've always got friends that every time you're around them, you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing. Then having influencing in a negative way, you need to remove yourself from that situation. You need to remove yourself from that group.
I was watching the Amanda Knox documentary on Netflix. The new one on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on Netflix. Amanda Knox, Meredith Kercher, the British girl, they both went to Italy for the same reason, to study. Up till now, we don't know what happened in that room. This is a true story, by the way. Obviously, in the media, there was so many different stories flying around that she was involved in sex games, and they were having like a little party in the house, and she was made to do things she didn't want to do, which eventually got her killed. God forbid would ever be in that situation. I just kind of said, could you imagine somebody that obviously you don't know from anywhere? They were roommates or housemates, so they were kind of forced to have a relationship. That's kind of like a forced relationship. So they ended up living together, and from that, she was killed. You know, like we never know what happened, but it's still from that association. Because I believe if she lived somewhere else, she wouldn't have been in that situation. You know, it may even just be the house that she decided that she was going to take as accommodation from that relationship, whether it was the murderer or the girl she lived with or whatever, but it was just from knowing that person or from that friendship or from that associationship, she was killed. So if somebody is in your life is always doing something that you're not really into, you're not feeling, and every time they do that thing, you're like, not really comfortable with this, then you need to lock up.
And if they're not trying to change as well, I mean,
if they don't respect the fact that you're not comfortable with it, then you need to let it go.
Because you can't change anybody. You can only share your honest opinion and let them know how it's making you feel. But if they're not prepared to make any changes in order to respect that, then you need to keep it moving, because you have to protect your sanity and your mental health in that sense.
No, definitely.
You know, and your emotions as well. I mean, as much as you want to be there for that person, you can still love them from a distance. But if being around them is toxic and it's leaving a negative effect on you, then you have to kind of take the initiative and be like, okay, cool, I'm gonna keep it over there. Like, you know, I'm here if you need me, but you need to do you.
It's not healthy.
It's not healthy for me to be around you in that sense, and I can support you from a distance and help you. Even when you, some people don't even want help, so it's like there's no point. If someone doesn't want help, they don't want to change, you can just pray for them. You know, just pray for them from a distance and just keep it moving.
I don't think I have fake friends, because if you want to be my friend, it's going to take a lot. No one is perfect. So don't expect to have a perfect friendship with somebody and you guys are always like cute and going out and dressing and mashing up
all the time. It's like every relationship, there'll be ups and downs.
There'll be ups and downs.
It's what you do when those downs are happening. It's how you deal with them. That's how you know how you're going to move forward. You know,
as friends together. It's not every time, she did this, I'm not talking to her anymore. No, you also need to learn how to overcome situations.
Because that's how people get divorces, because they don't want to deal with the issue. They want to run away from it and they don't want to try and work on it.
Definitely.
If you care about that person and you love them,
reach out.
Like, try and fix the situation as much as you can.
And I will tell you something, you will feel obviously depending on how it goes, but if you call, let's say you haven't spoken to somebody like 4 years, something happened, at this point you don't even remember what happened, and you guys stop talking,
and you know that was a genuine friendship, and you
pick up the phone, you speak to that person, you will feel 10 times lighter. Like you will feel so much better about yourself and so much better about like life. Obviously it's not going to be perfect from then on, but you know, you'd be like, okay, I reached out, we settled it, we might not be best friends like we were before, but you know, it's done, it's sorted, and everyone can continue with their lives. I don't have to see them and feel awkward, I don't have to think about them and feel sad. Challenge yourself. You know, every time you have a falling out with somebody, it's not going to be often, but whenever you have a falling out or you have a disagreement, challenge yourself to accept that you're both not going to agree, but you're both going to be able to move on. You know, agree to disagree, but know that, okay, we don't see eye to eye on this particular topic or on this matter, but we're friends, we're cool. Like, that's how she feels, that's how. Don't be disrespectful to somebody else's ideologies and their beliefs and stuff. Just be like, that's how you feel, this is how I feel. You know, I understand where you're coming from, but I don't agree with it.
And it's only genuine friendships that you can actually do those kind of things, you know. And I think with the whole fake friends thing, I've never kind of been in a situation where I can say that I've had fake friends, because it takes a lot to even be my friend. It takes a while. So before we even become friends, for me to know whether you are fake or you are real,
it's gonna take a
while. So
keep trying.
So you keep trying. If you're the kind of person that everybody just friends, everybody's your friend, that's when there's opportunity for people to be fake around you, because you're too busy being friends, keying together, that you can't see the fakeness to the real. Everything's just one big blur. So that's why you have to take the time. You have a great opportunity to choose your friend. And this is one thing that I say to my daughter, that I've been saying it to her from when she was in like nursery. Like, you pick your friends, and the people that you pick, now that she's in secondary school, I'm very careful about the kind of friends that she hangs around, and I let her know that, you know, even when she's had falling outs with her friends in school, I want you to look at that person's behaviour during this falling out, and I want you to make sure that you understand how this person is. So even if you are going to carry on being friends, take note of these trying situations where you're falling out, you've had an issue, take a note of it and see how they've reacted in that situation before you continue to be their friend and develop your friendship. It's so important to teach, especially girls, how to be good friends and how to recognise good friends from when they're young. So when they get older, they're not caught in situations where they become friends with someone and they're dead because you know that friendship was toxic or making them do things they didn't want to do and all this kind of stuff. Being very aware of people around you, the people that you let into your life. One thing I've heard about from this guy called Tony Gaskin, who's a life coach, he says that you are the CEO of your life. So you pick who you employ. So and you sack whoever you want to sack as well. So if you're the CEO of your life, you get to pick who you want to employ to be part of your life. And anyone that is not fitting their role or not doing their job description, they gotta go. You fired. Okay. You fired. You know, give people a chance. Obviously, like any job, you get your 3 months probation. I'm not saying that you should do this with all your friends and give them 3 months, because it could take years to build a genuine friendship. But I'm just saying that in is it metaphor? Is that what they call it? Metaphorically speaking. You know, you have that time where you have to, you know, give people opportunity to show themselves. It's just one of those things, like it's one of those life things that you learn. You learn. It might be difficult. The learning experience might be tough. You know, you might cry some tears. You know, but you learn. You learn and you grow and you go.
It's one of those things that has to happen.
So I think the main thing to kind of stay focused on is that friendships are important, and it is important to have deep, meaningful friendships, but it's also being very aware of the kind of friends that you have around you. Grow and learn from situations and change in areas that you might need to change as well, because you could be the issue in a friendship, not always the other person. So it's having that maturity to be able to say, okay, where am I going wrong? What have I played a role in this situation for things to be this way?
Definitely always like check yourself, and you can ask opinions. Just be like, you know, is there something that I do constantly, because I find that this keeps happening to me. You know, ask the closest people around you, and from then, you know, you can only become a better person. I know so many people who don't have real friends, because they feel alienated, but it's mainly because of them and what they're doing wrong, and the fact that they can't see what they're doing wrong.
Exactly. And be open to having that conversation, that real conversation with your friend, and be like, okay, this has happened, why has it happened? You know, and then you find that a lot of your friends, the way that they are in friendships is because of their own experiences, their own past experiences, or family issues, or things that have gone on with them when they were younger or growing up, that's caused them to have difficulties in friendships with other girls. There's girls that can't be friends with other girls. Or they're only friends with boys because they can't deal with girls. Like, there's a reason for that, you know, and it's being honest with yourself and be like, okay, cool, why is this happening? Why am I constantly having issues with friends? You know, what's going on there? Is it me? Is it them? Is it a combination of the two? And it's really being honest with yourself, because all of these answers that you get is going to help you when you're in a serious relationship and when you get married. Because when you're married, like, your husband is for life, or you can't just be getting a divorce left, right and centre. You have to be able to deal with your issues, and that's what makes marriage is more than just loving each other. People that have been married for years and years and years, I'm not saying that you only have friendships in order to get married and know how to do that. Friendships are cool because they're lifelong friends, and they're going to be there with you for
the best support
the best support system for ups and downs and things like that. But in terms of, you know, you as a person and how you are in all your relationships, whether it's romantic relationships and friendship relationships or relationships with your family, it's really important to know yourself. It's really important to grow as a person, mature. It's been a lovely chat.
And we really hope you guys have enjoyed this. Once again, part 1 of this would be on Amina's channel, so the link is in the description box. You guys can click that and head straight over to the video, check out her channel and her other videos and her social media also. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and let us know what you guys would like to touch us.
Do you want to touch us? You want to touch me?
Let us know what you'd like us to touch on in our next episodes.
Yeah, when can you give us a name?
Give us a name for this, because it's going to continue.
Whenever Amina and Esther do a video, what should we call it? There should be a something.
It has to be a name. We have to think of something. We'll think of something.
Think of a name.
And if you have questions, also put them down below and we'll try and answer them in the next video. If there's anyone that you guys would like to see here, young moms or entrepreneurs or anyone of that sort, let us know and we'll try and like make it work. I think that would be quite cool. London based, please, because we can't be flying from America.
We ain't got budgets like that, you know.
Yeah, so please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and we'll see you next time. Bye.